was born with the wrong sign, in the wrong house, with the wrong ascendancy. I took the wrong road that led to the wrong tendencies. I was in the wrong.
Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Wilcox. Once again, Cannabis in Canada. More politics on the agenda, only these ones are surely going to be inflamed come the fall time. This has to do with harm reduction in the city of Abbostford, okay, and Abbostford, BC. It's ironic. We've been double checking this. I am working with some other people, and basically in a coalition against this bylaw that was brought into effect by a previous council and a previous mayor. So we're basically by this video in effect and by letter effectively letting the city know of our stance against this on a harm reduction. What I'd like to do is read the actual language. It was an amendment made in 2004 to section 120 of the Abbostford Code of the bylaws. Now it says here, harm reduction use means the growing, production, manufacture, sale, distribution, or trade of drugs listed in Schedule 1 of the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act, including cannabis, marijuana, or any byproduct of cannabis, marijuana, or any substance held out to be cannabis, marijuana, methadone treatment clinics, and methadone dispensing facilities, except where administered by a pharmacist. Now we all know that a pharmacist can't distribute cannabis because there's no DIN number. It goes on to say that it has to be a registered pharmacist with the College of Pharmacists. Needle exchanges, mobile dispensing vans, safe injection sites, or any other type of similar use or facility that excludes second stage use and residential care use. So basically, in effect, this law, as I understand, or this bylaw, as I understand it, I guess it's still a law, effectively says that I can't grow here, that I can't buy medication here, okay, in the city of Abbostford. In effect, it's stopping short of telling me that I can't live here for my choice of medication, and I find that to be very inflammatory and discriminatory in nature, and do intend to proceed on that. And we will be speaking with various others, and without fully understanding, who knows, maybe Abbostford has some secret bylaw hidden somewhere that we don't know about that allows for provisions for medical marijuana users such as myself. But as long as you have legislation that my lawyer has obtained, or somebody that works for my lawyer has obtained for me, as long as bylaws like this exist that cause more harm, they actually induce harm rather than reduce it. I don't understand how this came to be. All I know is that it includes me, because harm reduction in the context of Schedule 1 of the CDSA and growing cannabis, that's me. So it also affects my residents, okay? So I find that to be discriminatory. Because of the fact that I'm growing here, I could be kicked out citing a bylaw, okay? Nobody's ever been moved on, as I understand it. This city's never moved against this bylaw. We'll be seeking to change the bylaw to make provisions for medical marijuana use, and to certainly to try and educate some that are on council that may seem to think that this language is somehow sound. And stepping away a little bit here, having been an HIV/AIDS activist for 16 years, harm reduction has a much wider holistic approach to me. And when I look at the street girls, I look at the people living on the streets, I look at the people getting beat down, shanked, stabbed. This is happening from locals and that, and there's no services in place. Harm reduction goes way beyond cannabis plants in somebody's house. That's just where I am, because I have a federal license that supersedes any municipal law. My issue is the discrimination that I feel in relation to my choice in medicine. But at the same time, on a holistic look, how is it that the sex trade workers and the injection drug users who need services, they can't get them? Because bylaws like this exist that prevent services to help them, such as safe injections or such as needle exchanges, such as facilities that can help them with landlord tenancy acts, such as places that can help them get into affordable housing, such as places that can help them with the ministry, such as places that can help them maybe get their kids back. Half the time, people never ever, I've always said this, being an ex-addict myself, I've always said, nobody's ever went out and just slammed a ring in their arm and decided they were going to be an addict that day. Life circumstances drive that. And with an economic downturn, it's not that hard to see. There's been jobs slashed across the country. There's a lot of things going on. If ever a time, people, when? If ever a time to act, when? If not now. I'm but one person. I'm a cannabis activist. I'm living with my illness, but we're a country. And when we start to stop fundamental rights, such as human rights, not to be discriminated against because you're homeless, not to be discriminated against because you're addicted to drugs, not to be discriminated against because you're sick, certainly not to be discriminated against because of your choice in medication, even though you have a prescription and a license. Nobody deserves to be discriminated against. In fact, it's protected under the Human Rights Code of BC. And I believe it's also protected under the section or under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So we'll definitely be updating you. I wanted to open this up and just allow people to know about that. Once again, it is Section 20 of the Abbostford Amendment, or Abbostford bylaws. It is bylaw number 32 and bylaw number 138 that was amended in 2004 for those that want to do some research. But it clearly does indicate that there is absolutely zero harm reduction in the city of Abbostford allowed, and we intend to contest this full force in the fall. And in the meantime, we're gathering up what we need to gather up, and we're putting the city on notice now, and we'll put them on notice through a host of different seminars and talks that we hope to have around harm reduction, because to leave civilians dying in the street, it's just not humane, and it's not the Canadian way. This is Jason Wilcox signing out. We'll see you next time.